Hi, my name is John Cordy, and today marks the first day of moving across to a more professional style of presentation. From now on I want you to call me Johnny Corporate, because a friend of mine pointed out that there's really no point in doing all this unless there's an end goal which involves, you know, doing loads and loads and loads of sponsored content, and that's what this channel is really going to be all about. And so this marks the end of all of the jokes about Ian Watkins, all of the jokes about John Mayer hitting Amber Heard, and all of the jokes about Johnny Depp turning down the role of Trinity in the original Matrix. Right, anyway, so this is a Yamaha NTX700. I had one of these before, but my friend Jason Wade, sometimes commenter on the channel and moderator of the live chats, he sent me a £50 Anderton's voucher for Christmas, which I was quite surprised by, and wondered why he'd done it. But then I was looking on Anderton's. I thought, what am I going to spend this on? I'm not sure. So I was looking around and stuff, and then this popped up in their sale for £279. So I used the voucher and some loyalty points, because I am loyal to Anderton's, obviously. Love what they did with Chappers, love all that stuff. I love Anderton's. There's not an affiliate link, but it'd be cool if there was, wouldn't it? That would. Anyway, so yeah, this is the NTX700, and it arrived today, and I plugged it in and put it into my PXO Saver nylon patch that I'm going to put into the folder if you want it. But this was initially a preset that was designed for the Yamaha Trans Acoustic, but I plugged it in and stuck a plateau reverb on it, and I just love everything about the way that a nylon acoustic sounds. To me, it's one of the first memorable kind of sounds of a guitar, I initially started playing guitar on a really cheap, you know, 3/4 size nylon, and I just think it's got this really cool sound. Playing wise, it feels different to playing a steel string. It's more forgiving, I find, because the string tension I think is a bit lower. And I just think it's got also this really cool sound which in some ways can evoke some more kind of Eastern, like malletty type things. And for that reason I think it adds like a more interesting quality to the stuff when I've been playing through it, and I thought, oh, what's that sound? Even though it's the sound of a classical guitar, it's tricking my ears for a little bit. Not classical, but a nylon, you get what I mean. So this is a guitar which has a bit more of a steel style neck, I think. Yamaha have been doing this thing for a while, making nylon strung guitars which are more suited to more traditional players, which I think is really cool. I am hoping to be able to bring some videos with Yamaha about some of that stuff. We'll see whether that can happen. I think they're a little bit low on stock for that at the moment. But yeah, I think they're really cool little guitars. So they've got a pickup mix thing, they've got a tuner built in, they've got an EQ. I guess you could probably find a demo of that somewhere else, but I just wanted to it's just a real joy to play this guitar, which is not always the case with nylon type stuff. What I like about it is that you can dig in and dig back out. It's got a really responsive kind of touch to it, and the strings aren't just farting out. It seems to actually respond to picking dynamics really well. The idea, I think, of having a classical style or nylon strung guitar around is fairly compelling to me for a few reasons. So the first is that I think in some ways it's less forgiving than other styles of guitar. In other ways it's, so depending on what guitar you're trialing it against, but something like an acoustic steel string, your fingers can get fatigued quite quickly if you're playing it, and I think playing it unplugged can be fairly unrewarding for kind of lead or gentle stuff. But I was just playing this downstairs, and I find actually that the nylon bridges that gap really nicely, where it's tonally sweet enough that you can sort of play some bits on it. You can do some jazzy type stuff if you wanted to, or you can do whatever, but tonally it's really rewarding to listen to as you're playing it. But you're also hearing it quite clearly when things are not ringing out properly. So it's not particularly forgiving technique-wise, so you have to be quite precise. Otherwise you don't get clear ringing tones. So that's kind of what I think about it. It's a great guitar to kind of have around the house, for instance, if you were practicing around, or you know, taking it on holiday or whatever. It's got some really sweet tonal quality. I did have a couple of the Yamaha silent guitars for when I've had to go away. I have to say I found those after a while a little bit uncomfortable, and that's why I sort of have this feeling that something just more traditional in this sense might be a better bet because your arm feels comfortable playing it. It's not quite as portable, but to me it's a more enjoyable instrument to play. And I think it's a really sweet texture to have on some tracks. So I'm going to keep this around, and maybe I'll try and bring some more kind of nylon strung stuff to the channel. If it's at all interesting, let me know in the comments if it is. Other things in the past that I've taken a look at that I really like the idea of, with like the Godin multi-act nylon stuff. I thought that looked really cool and seemed to have kind of those smaller elements, and they do like a traditional more slim neck, which I like the idea of for me, as I'm not really like a actual classical neck player. But this feels close enough to like a steel string guitar around kind of the neck dimensions that I can play it quite comfortably. But yeah, something to keep around. So let me know if you've got kind of favourite choices for this kind of nylon electroacoustic thing, where it's doing a little bit of a crossover so that players like us, presumably, where we're playing electrics and acoustics and aren't necessarily traditional kind of classical players, can get some of those beautiful characteristics of a nylon strung guitar, but with something more playable like this from Yamaha. So again, thank you, Jason. If you've got suggestions for this sort of stuff, I'd love to hear them, as I'm not aware of loads of stuff in this kind of genre, like as I say, like a more playable or traditional kind of neck, as in not classical, as in more of the slimmer style neck, tighter nut width, something that a normal kind of steel string player could get to grips with, or an electric player can get to grips with, without this kind of alien feeling. If there are some suggestions for that, I'd love to hear them, and I think other people watching might appreciate that too if they're looking to get a nylon. For the reasons that I said, I think the sound is really unique. As a guitar unplugged, it's really fun to play a nylon as well, and I think it can reveal certain things about your playing but still be rewarding enough to play it that you pick it up often and it doesn't fatigue your hands. That's what I love about a good kind of nylon acoustic guitar. Thank you for watching, hopefully that's vaguely interesting, and I'll catch you in another corporate video soon. Cheers. Lock up your daughters. Wait, that's not...